Hello, ladies and gents. This is Mike Headley on the Headley Group Real Estate Show. This is a podcast designed for real estate professionals who's thinking about getting a career in real estate or who's already been in the business. We'll learn some great tips and tricks from the professionals and the veterans. Continue to tune in. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? This is Mike Headley. We are back on the Headley Group Real Estate Show. Now, I always say all the time that we got someone special on the show, and that gives us a great treat. I think we'll get a dose of information today from this brother who I have been knowing for, I'll say, over 10 years now. This brother has many hats, many talents. First of all, he's been in the real estate business and been a professional for 16 years and counting. He is an investor. He specializes in REO, foreclosure sales, loves first-time home buyers, and he works with new construction. He is a gentleman of a man of faith. I got to give him, every time I talk to him, definitely he puts God first, and I got to tip my hat off to him with that. He's a gentleman who's in the Nashville, Tennessee area. I'm talking about killing the game. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Marqueze Williamson Sr. How you doing, sir? How's it going, brother?
Hey, how you doing, brother? Hey, man, it's good to see you, man.
Listen, man.
I love you. I love your show. I love your show, man. This is amazing. It's going to be syndicated all over the world, you know? Yes, sir.
Got to speak it in existence, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, the thing is, like I said, this is, and I told him, Marquez asked me, what the show is about. We kind of went over some show notes. I said, just like a conversation, because here on our show, we ain't too formal. We're professional, but we're it's like we're talking. It's like we're talking. We having a cup of coffee, having a beer, something like that. We're just having a great conversation.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Marquez, let the people know what drove you to get in the business. Say, let me get my real estate license and see if this door can open up to another venture.
Well, thank you for that statement and question, Mike. Really, one day I was walking really, and I saw a sign, and I said, man, I would love to buy that house. And I was in graduate school at Tennessee State University, and I was really trying to think.
Fellow HBCU?
Yep. I was trying to see what's next for me. I didn't know. I really didn't. I went to a couple of buddies of mine. We were trying to do Meharry, the post-bac, Meharry Medical College, another HBCU. And I said, man, I made a 15 on the MCAT. And I said, well, I can get into the post-bac, but what do I want to do? And I started looking at the fees for med school. Now I said, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be in debt, $500,000 coming out of school. And that's how much it was.
Okay.
So I said, maybe I should do real estate. I want to buy houses. And the real reason was because my mom didn't own a house at the time. I saw my mother renting for so long. And I just figured maybe I'll get into real estate. And a buddy of mine, we actually went to Nashville School of Real Estate. And I only went, watch this, I only went to learn about the investment side. I had a friend of mine who also matriculated at Tennessee State University. She was my first client. She said, I need somebody to help me purchase a house. I said, well, I'm getting a real estate license, but only to invest, because at the time I owned Kijiji Coffee House. And I said, I own these franchises of this coffee house with my business partner. I just want to get into real estate to invest. Well, at the time, Nashville's real estate market wasn't as thriving like it is now, but it still was, pretty good. So I sold her a condo, and I think the condo was maybe $120,000. And I made $3,600 in 12 days. I said, oh my God, I need to do this for real, because this is some good money. And, well, it was okay money. Well, good money. Definitely humble. So I got the check and deposited the check, and somebody else called me and they said, hey, you sold this house to, XYZ. Can you help me too? And I couldn't believe it. So I said, well, maybe I could possibly do this on the side. Well, doing it on the side is still, going 16 years later. So that's how I got into real estate.
Mm. So, I mean, we got to unpack a lot of that there, brother. You said some powerful things. Yeah. So a situation led to another situation. Wow, because it's similar to my situation. And again, it's not about me, but same format, flip the property. The agent put it on the market within 7 days. He made $5,800. I was like, if I can get my license, how you make that much money in 7 days? I mean, that's $5,800 took out of my proceeds. So
right.
Conversation. So that led into to another situation. So now you decided, you say, okay, I got my real estate license. Mm-hmm. You working with that first buyer, how was that transaction? What did that look like, that very first buyer?
Well, the first buyer, it was a first-time home buyer.
Okay.
And she just wanted a place where she could call home. And, she was looking for this place. And I said, well, actually, it was so long ago, but actually she had already found the place. She just needed somebody to write up the offer. And she said, well, I would use you if you can do it. And this one was crazy because she's a principal now. She's a doctor now. But at the time, we were both working at a place part-time grading papers. Okay. Now, I knew her in undergraduate, but we were working in this place grading papers because I was just trying to make, a little extra money.
Correct.
And that's when she told me. And so that process looked like learning a new construction paperwork, learning how to operate in the new construction world. A lot of new construction agents, they're forthcoming. They're very abrasive at times. Don't beat me up, new construction agents, but some of them are, because people come in and it's like, almost like a merry-go-round. People come in, sit down, contract, credit report, credit rand, lender, you're out the door. And it's like boom, boom, boom. Especially now in Nashville, it's like that a lot because there's so much building going on, construction. I mean, it's ridiculous. Good for the economy and people, right? But so this person, once we got the contract paperwork, it was really smooth. Did a inspection report, builder's inspector report as well, and we were done. She had A1 credit, and in less than 20 days we were closing. So it was a really smooth transaction. Now the next one right after that was it was challenging, and that's when I met a good friend of ours who has gone on to glory, Reggie Woodgett. We were doing a shout out to Reggie. We had a short sale, and a good friend of mine as well. She was looking for a property, and same neighborhood. She was looking for a property, and I met Reggie, and Reggie was like, "Man, you need to come to this company, the company he was affiliated with at the time." And I said, "I'm not coming over there," but he was so cool and really convincing. I mean, I told him, I said, "Man, you can sell salt to a snail." I tell you, yeah. So, but there was a hard transaction because I knew nothing about short sales. But I told Reggie I did. I said, "Oh man, yeah, I know how to do a short sale." I went to Google and started researching how to do a short sale.
Fake it till you make it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Fake
exactly.
it till you make it. Yeah. And that led me to get a CDPE designation. And I learned about short sales.
Let me interject. Tell people, what is a CDP designation? What is that?
I have no idea anymore. Okay. It's been so long. I think it's Certified Distressed Property Expert.
Okay, there you go. You got it.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. So that's the designation that I received at that time. I have so many of them, but I don't even remember all of them. I mean, we take classes and we get, certified, and we, it's an ongoing extensive learning. So But anyway, I got that and learned how to do short sales, which was helping people because a lot of people during that time in 2005, 6, 7, 8, they were in default. The economy
Mm,
had crashed and there were no experts to help people.
mm,
So they relied on people like myself, like Mr. Headley here,
mm,
and an array of others around the country to help them out to get out of the situation because the
mm,
mortgage is one of the biggest things that you can have. Of
mm.
course, it's a huge bill, a huge debt, and you can't just come up with $200,000 and $300,000 just out the
Correct.
sky. Like,
Right.
hey, you need to pay this off. Come on, man. So that's when we came in, and we were pretty much doing a settlement on your mortgage,
Mm.
which is a short sale specialist or CDPE,
Okay.
an expert. Yeah. So and I don't know if I need to keep going if you have a question, but
Yeah, actually, yeah. I mean, this
yeah,
perfect segue
yeah,
since you said something about the market crashing
yeah,
2007, 8, 9, 2007 and 8, and you got these designations because people were just underwater. They were suffering. They needed guidance. They needed direction. Um, During them times, and I want to bring up, you said you specialize in REO.
mhm,
Let the audience know exactly what is an REO. Two-part question here. What is an REO? And do you foresee, now we are in 2021, an influx or or properties coming with REOs?
sure. So REO is real estate owned. That's what it's an acronym, REO, or for the public is known as foreclosures.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll see a lot of back then from 2008 to about 13, so 5 year span, you saw an oversaturated market of foreclosures or REOs.
Mm-hmm.
And myself, and also Mr. Headley, um, are REO specialists. I'll
Mm-hmm.
give him a shout out too, because this man knows what he's doing. Okay,
We appreciate that.
Carolina and surrounding areas, he knows
Mm-hmm.
what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we met at a conference called 5 Star Conference in Dallas, and it's a default conference. It's a big melting pot, showing us how to and giving us training on what the forecast, what's next, getting designations on with REOs, meeting our servicers or asset managers, connecting the dots, cultivating relationships. We did all of that there, and it was
Mm-hmm.
fun times, of course, and it prepared us for what was coming, which was a catastrophe, because the market did crash. People lost their jobs. They were losing homes.
Mm-hmm.
All types of things were happening, but there were still people who had savings. They still had credit available, and everybody needs somewhere to stay. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where we came in at. We were servicing these properties for the banks,
Mm-hmm.
the Fannie Mae's, Freddie Mac's, HUD's, Ginnie Mae's, etc. And so they call on a specialist. It's almost like, hey, I have something wrong with my foot, and I need a foot specialist.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to go to a barber to say I need surgery on my foot. You're going to call an expert, and they called on us.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, in my market, we had probably about 6 or 7 REO agents, and Nashville is a pretty nice sized city and surrounding areas. So you had these agents, excuse me, who were servicing Middle Tennessee, and there was one agent broker who had the entire HUD region. She had Tennessee.
Wow.
So she listed all of the HUD properties for about 20 years
Wow.
until the contract split. Well, of course, they needed more local listing brokers or LLBs or NLBs, neighborhood listing brokers, and that's when they called us. We were, we formulated a team, which we supposed to have, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but we formulated a team to help each other, make America great again in the real estate market. And, of course, a lot of the banks with foreclosures, they were relying on us as well, to pretty much do everything we needed to do with the assets. We are the eyes and ears for the bank. We do everything from listing the property to getting the property repaired to managing the electricity, the yard, whatever, the maintenance, whatever it is, they call on us. And really our job is to make their jobs easier. That's really a broker's job in retail real estate and in residential, in foreclosure, default, whatever the case may be. It's our job to make your jobs easier. So in REO, of course, the dividends are great for brokers if you know what you're doing and if you have a team and you can manage. It is amazing. So that's one of the facets of real estate that I specialize in, along with an array of my other buddies, Mr. Mike Headley.
Right.
And it's great. It's great. We love what I do. And I'm sorry, you about to say something.
Well, no, I was just going to ask. So during them years, you sell these REOs, foreclosures. What did that look like in terms of your business? I mean, were you busy or like, did you benefit tremendously or like paint that picture for us?
Well, without telling too much of my business.
Okay.
No, I'm just joking, audience. It's a joke, okay? I'm an open book. I want everybody to learn. Because there may be some aspiring agents and brokers who are looking at this, or maybe some asset managers who are looking for us. Hi.
That's right.
So my business was tremendous. I'm talking about 200 to 300 to 400 properties sold a year during that time.
Wow.
And on top of that, not only those properties, but we were doing these broker price opinions, BPOs, which were back then paying about $50 a BPO. And so a broker price opinion is getting value of a property from a servicer, like an asset manager or a bank, so to say. They want to know, it's like a mini appraisal, just to say. A lot of people know what an appraisal is. So, that's what BPOs are. And then, again, going to the default agent, they call upon us with the designations, with the training to do broker price opinions. So that's pretty much what we do. So we were doing BPOs as well on top of the REOs. And we were doing, I think one year I did 11,000 BPOs.
Wow, that's a lot of BPOs.
Yeah, and I did these by myself.
Wow.
I did them.
11,000 BPOs by yourself.
I did about 11,000 BPOs. Yes, and I was really tired. I think my health took a turn that year too because I was so tired. That the phrase "working yourself to death," I really was doing that. But the adrenaline was going. I loved what I did. I was getting it out for my servicers, which was a segue into the REOs. But I did do. It was a lot of work, and I had to equip myself with systems. Once I got my systems in place, it was a breeze. But that was back then because the market was, it was a lopsided market. You saw more default than you did residential. And now with a forecast coming, we know that there are a ton of people suffering from this COVID-19 pandemic. A lot of people are out of, unfortunately, a lot of people are out of jobs. A lot of people are losing their lives. A lot of stuff is going on in the government. The world is not like the world we knew, right? And in the real estate market, people are still losing properties. They are just staying in them, their properties. I have 2 right now that I've been babysitting for quite a while. And I have about 7 in Memphis, Tennessee, where I'm originally from. I have about 7 that the people have not moved. And they've been there for about, in default, meaning they are foreclosed for about 2 years. So they have 2 years of unpaid mortgage payments that they've sat on. I don't know the reason. I'm just a real estate broker going to do my job. But the bank knows. And just imagine if I have these properties, just imagine all the servicers, the brokers, the asset managers, the big banks who have these properties right now just sitting on their books because the government says that they cannot put people out of their properties. because there's a mandate in place. But that's going to change. I don't know the forecast when it's supposed to have change 1/1/21, but they extended it another 30 days. So I don't know. But
You're
when
talking about the moratorium.
the moratorium, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have said that.
Yeah.
But when it happens, the forecast that I see us going back to a 2008. They're going to try to manage it, but I don't know how they're going to manage it because so many people are in default.
Well, let me talk about that a little bit. So what do you say to the broker who just got their license 2, 3, or this year, this year, just fresh, got their license. They don't have an idea how to deal with a foreclosure or REO. What do you say to them? Will there be a change up with their business? Will they be forced to change? What do you say to them?
Well, I think they're going to go because that's what's happened in Nashville. There are a ton of agents in Nashville now. I mean, because if you guys are looking at the real estate news, Nashville is like, the hub. I mean, of course we have healthcare here and a lot of technology, but a lot of people are moving here, big companies. Amazon, of course, you guys know, moved here. And there are other companies which have moved here as well. And they're coming from New York and California, Florida, all these places, and they're coming here and they're paying cash for property. So we don't have any inventory. We used to have, 3 months of inventory, went from actually 4 or 5 months to 3 months to 2 months to 30 days to 10 days to now hours. And I really mean hours. We're looking at, when a property is on the market, we're looking at 20 to 30 offers at a time. And it can be a piece of trash, but people need somewhere to stay because we still have over 100 people moving here every day. So the agent who is in business now, depending on your market, you're going to have to switch up your business. You need to get with a Mr. Mike Headley, with a Miss Sabria Scott in Georgia, myself in Nashville, Larry Donnell in Texas. You need to get with one of us or other agents and brokers around the country and learn because we're going to need buyers agents, because I really see that we're going to be busy in this near future with servicing our clients. And the clients are looking for brokers who have held on with them, who's been there in the trenches with them. They're not really looking for somebody that's new. I'm sorry to tell you that. I know a lot of you guys want to possibly get into REO, and I'm not telling you, not to try. But from what I've heard, a lot of the servicers are looking for somebody who's been doing it because they're not going to have time to babysit. And it's unfortunate, for the up and coming agent. But maybe you can hook up with a broker and they can, help you out. Or I don't know. I don't know how that looks for you, but I know that, right now your business is probably amazing. But you're going to have to get some type of extensive training, get with a broker and learn how to dwell and live in the default world, because people, it's coming.
Well, and it's funny as you say that. I had a conversation with the broker a couple of days ago, and I said you got to watch trends. Everything gives an indicator what will happen next. And I think particularly the new ones, they don't know, but the ones who've been in the business for a long period of time, you watch the trends, and that will give you, a guidance. Because if you ignore it, then you're forced to change your business. Right now, it's like, okay. And then now it's a buyer's market, a whole bunch of houses for sale, So what do I do with that now? So it's we have to be mindful of that. I mean, particularly the people who don't really watch the trends. Hey guys, thank you for watching our show. We're gonna interrupt you real quickly. We are in the business of referrals. If you know someone looking to buy or sell, residential or commercial, here in the North Carolina area, refer us. We really appreciate that. So let me segue, because you bring up Nashville a lot, and we've seen that Nashville is on fire. Right? I know actually a couple of people that moved there. How's the new construction and that rental market in that area?
Well, we cannot, again, keep properties on the market.
Mm.
The builders cannot build them enough. I have
Running out of
friends
land? Are you running out of land?
Well, we're not running out of land yet because they have priced the land to the heavens. You know, is that high. And people are sitting on their land because they don't want to come down, because they know eventually somebody is going to have to buy the land. What was happening, the word that we do not like to use, and a lot of people don't like to hear, but gentrification was happening all around the city. Where Tennessee State University is, Fisk University, Meharry Medical College, those three, of course, are all HBCUs, and it's in an urban area. Well, that area has become modern.
Really?
It really has. It really has. Every single day, I see a new building going up. It's there on Jefferson Street. You see a new building going up. You see new tall and skinnies going up, and I see a different presence of police over there now, because they are moving urban people out of the way, and a lot of other people are, and I'm trying to say this correctly, politically correct, because I am an apostle. I'm a pastor too, so I have to watch what I say. But a lot of people are coming who can afford the houses that they are putting over there. Those properties were at first $60,000, if that, and now they're $1 million.
Oh wow!
$1 million properties.
Wow!
And they sold for, they'll get the house and $100,000, $200,000. Of course, you give that to somebody who's never had that much money. At one point of time, they're going to jump on it. They don't think it through, because where am I going to go? That's the question that I have to ask. Where am I going to go? And a lot of people don't think it through. So they take the big check, and now they're renting when they were inherited their grandmother's house or their mother's or father's house, and the builder will get that property, and they're going to put two tall and skinnies on there, and they're going to sell them for $800,000.
When you say two tall and skinnies, what do you mean by that?
Exactly how I described it. They're tall, they're skinny properties. They're zero lot line properties. Okay. Meaning that they're little. The lot is little, probably 0.25, if that. And they put two houses on 0.25 of an acre. Wow. And they build them up. They build them up instead of building them out. So that's what we call tall and skinny. They're very modern, probably have 3 flights of stairs, all the latest gadgets inside of the property. And the people are building 2 of those on 1 lot. So that's what I mean by tall and skinny. Okay. And
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
You got it.
Well, I was going to ask you, I want to segue a little bit here, because again, I want to get all this meat in as we eat enough time. Baymar Realty, you got your company going, and you are the owner broker of the company.
Yes, sir.
What does that real estate company look like in terms of new agent getting on board? And do you do a consistent large amount of training, mentorship? What does that look like?
Yeah, so definitely mentorship, training. If a new agent want to get on board, just go to the website, give me a call. I'm easy to talk to. Just like this, we have a conversation, because it's a relationship, it's a feel, it's a vibe, as we say. You want to have a vibe with the people. And what happens is, if there's a vibe, a connection, I will send you to the sister company, Arbitrage Brokerage.
Okay.
And what happens is, if you're a residential broker, agent, you will go there, and the training, everything that you need as far as real estate, you will get it over there, which is the sister company to Baymar Realty.
Okay. Oh, sister company. Yeah. So when you say sister company, you I guess joint relationship. What is that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. The agents from there were residentially a part of Baymar Realty. Yeah. And so, what we're doing at Baymar, specifically is getting default trained agents because we're ramping up for what's to come. Yeah, but if there's a I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm listening. If there's a residential.
If there's a residential person who wants to come on board, of course, it's just a phone call with one-on-one training, coaching, the whole nine.
Okay. So now you got an agent A, they get on board, and they within the company week 1, week 2, week 3. Hey, I haven't made $1 million. Broker, help me out. What we not doing here? Because I'm looking at these other ones who promise me a huge amount of success. What do you say to that agent?
I can promise you the world. You know, a lot of people do that these days. They're making promises, and they fall to the wayside. You know, I like to under promise and over deliver. Because I had that problem actually when I first started. I first started as Williams Group Realty, and I took my name out of it. Baymar are my 2 sons. Baylor is my youngest son, and Marquez is my oldest son. So I just took Bay and Mar and merged them together.
Okay. I like the name.
So yeah, thank you. So made it Baymar. So they'll have something that one day if they want to sell it or whatever they want to do, it'll be theirs. I lost my train of thought. My email started coming. Getting back to the company, once I did that, the agent may say, hey, I haven't made $1 million. It's been 3 weeks. Well, you're not going to make $1 million in 3 weeks unless you hit the lottery. And sometimes not even then, because Uncle Sam is coming, of course, So, but I can assure you that there are steps in place to get your business up, because, a lot of teams, they'll say, I can give you 10 leads, 10 listings. We're going to go down the entire pipeline of advertising, marketing, whatever the case may be. And of course, the biggest thing, we're going to look at you, because you may be the problem, and I've had that happen. I spent, and I'll personally say this, I spent $193,000 in marketing, buying leads. I had Zillow, I had Zerple, I had homes.com, realtor.org, whatever. I had all of these leads coming in, right? And I was giving them to the agents. And by the time I got done, I had over 10,000 leads sitting in a queue. Wow. No one touched them.
Really?
No one touched them. And they would get looked at. I had a person who had the first right of refusal. That person just skimmed through the leads and didn't even do anything with them. And I pretty much felt like I wasted money, Of course, it was a lot of money that I wish I had, back to do something else with, because, sometimes and most times it's not the lead source. It's, and I hope I'm answering the question for the public. You have to look at yourself, agent A, agent B. You have to look at yourself, because it's really about relationships. This business is about relationships and systems. You have to have systems in place in order for you to succeed, because once your sphere of influence, mom, dad, sister, brother, cousin, friends, close friends, enemies, whatever, once they're gone, you sold them their houses, those 10 houses that you sell after that, then what's next? Because the public is not going to know, Amy Dixon. Maybe their friends know Amy Dixon, but after that, they don't know you anymore, Amy. They don't know you anymore, Marcus. They don't know, they don't know. So you have to have systems in place, and you have to get the public to trust you as well. So that's how you will make your $1 million, if that's your goal, and of course, and because Mike threw out $1 million, I'll say this: earning $1 million in this business is doable, but it is very, very, very hard. You're going to work a whole lot, unless you're selling luxury homes. Unless you're selling luxury homes. Yeah.
Okay. So you change the model up. Well, the first thing I try to tell any broker, not try, but let them do know, you come on board with the company, particularly come on board our company here, we have the thorough conversation. And I think what I actually brought on the broker a couple of days ago, and the first thing I made her aware, I say, we do X, Y, and Z, and this is our structure, and here's what we can provide. But the contingency is I need full cooperation from you. Right? This is a marriage, right? I love using that word in terms of real. This is a marriage. So it's not feed, and you don't do nothing in return. No. This is a two-way street. So we'll be there as supportive, but I need you to take the driver's seat and get in the driver's seat and drive the vehicle. So they're just to echo what you were saying, because we see that a lot, particularly in this industry, to get on board, and they may not see results week 1, week 2, week 3, month 2. So now it's like, let me search around. Is it the broker? A lot of times it's the person you're looking at in the mirror, right? It's like, but I think people just don't want to accept that accountability. But I just had to dive in on it, and I digress.
And I'll say this too, this business isn't for everybody.
It's not.
It's really not.
I agree with that.
You think that, because you see your buddy getting in and your buddy has made $100,000 this year, and you're like, oh man, I can do it. No, you cannot. You have to specialize in what you specialize, and you have to accept your call, whatever that is in life, and do your purpose. I'm not a brain surgeon. I don't have the patience to be that, but I am a businessman. I am an entrepreneur. I do understand, I am a leader. I know these things about me. So you have to go in agent A or B and know what about yourself. You have to do a self-assessment and know that, is this really for me? Or am I jumping into something because I'm trying to escape what I really supposed to be doing? You have to do a self-assessment, because you don't last in the business like, myself or Mr. Headley here. You don't last for years and years to come, just getting in it and thinking that, hey, this is something that I'm just doing, I just want to do. No, you're going to be homeless, okay? You're going to be miserable because it's not your purpose. Correct. And don't be miserable, live your life. Be, who you're supposed to be in this life. And as I say, be who God called you to be in this life, so you can live a life of prosperity and joy, for real. Oh, that's it. I'll digress.
Well, no, that's good. I mean, because I do think what you said, I think every time someone says something, there's always an audience, whether it be one person or 25 people. But I agree with you 1,000% on that. I think that self-assessment, you hit it out the park with that. I personally believe that anybody with enough patience and time can pass an exam. But after you pass, do you got that, as E.T. would say, Eric Thomas, you got that dog in you? And you go the extra mile. Are you prepared for rejection? Are you prepared with, I don't want to work with you? Are you prepared for that? A lot of people are just not built for that. But I love that, what you just said.
Absolutely.
So let me shift it, because again, I don't want to take definitely too much of the time here, your time. Give me 2 golden nuggets, whether it's a scripture, a book, a quote, something your mentor said to you that you can give to an experienced seasoned agent or a new one.
Man, so much. Of course, stay in your own lane. That's it sounds so simplex, but it is so true. Stay in your own lane. If you are a buyer's agent, bona fide buyer's agent, be that, okay? Don't see the default broker with 400 listings and then you want to try to do that, because your feelings will be hurt. I'm telling you, this is for everybody. Or if you're, if you specialize in, if you're a title company specialist and you see all these agents coming in with luxury listings, and now you're upset because you're making 50 grand and they're making, $1 million. Stay in your lane, because I'm telling you, you don't know the stripes that this person had to endure and encounter to get to what he or she they're at. You just don't know what we had to go through to be here. And as a whole, there's a segment, a story within itself with me, with just survival or being here right now. So stay in your lane. That's one. um, and have fun.
Mm.
We only live once. I
Mm.
don't have to get. I can get as deep as you want to get, but we only live once. Or actually, let me take that back. We die once. We live every day. So you should live every single day. And because we die once, the physical body dies once, so live every day, enjoy happiness, whatever the case may be, as long as you're breathing, then, we have an opportunity to bring joy, to usher in joy to ourselves. Whatever it is you're doing, real estate, if you're sweeping the floor for a restaurant, just be happy doing it, because it could be worse. And that's one thought that I always take with myself everywhere I go. I don't care what my body is feeling like, what my mind is thinking. I always remind myself, Marquez, it could be worse. You could be that guy, So definitely I stay in my own lane, um, and I do my job now professionally. I do my job. I own several of businesses, and each business, each facet of business, I do my job, but I stay in my own lane. I know my expertise, and I do it in happiness. I try to always remain happy, because there was a time that I was in gloom almost every day because of some occurrences that happened to me. But I try to be in joy every day. So be happy, man. Be happy, woman. Be happy with wherever you are, knowing that there is a bigger light at the end of the tunnel. If you stay in your purpose, you will get there. You will get there. You will achieve what you're trying to achieve. As long as you, as I say, I don't know if you're a spiritual person who's watching, but I put God first with everything that I do. I stay in my lane. I don't try to go outside of my lane, because this is the thing. If you were a car, watch this. If you were a car and you drove on the opposite side of the street, you risk losing your life. But if you're in your lane, there's comfort in your lane. There's sustainability in your lane. There's peace in your lane, right? And you can pay attention to red lights, when to stop, when to go, when to heal, because you're paying attention in your own lane. That's why I stay in my own lane, because I'm alert in my lane. I can function in my lane, and I don't try to do everybody else's job, of course. And okay, so staying in my lane, one nugget that you can do. The second one is staying in joy and in peace and putting God first. My spirituality, I put it first, and it brings me peace. And those are the nuggets that you can do. Of course, be professional. Always be a professional.
Right,
I know there's
correct.
more than two, but be a professional. Be professional at whatever you do, and you'll go as far as your mind can take you.
Wow. Wow. I mean, with that, we definitely got to take our hat off to have Mr. Marquez D. Williams Sr. in the Nashville area. Thank you all for watching the Headley Group Real Estate Show. And again, we will have Mr. Marquez, all his contact information will be in the here on the podcast in the ending. And thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Headley Group Real Estate Show.